look at how it's not just, it's all of law enforcement, not just police. Look at the disrespect we have for Border Patrol in this country, particularly in Texas, anything that borders the Mexican border. They're treated as the villains. The media will take out of context pictures of them that looks like, they're whipping and lashing illegal immigrants as they come across the border, and people in the media, oh God, this reminds me of slavery, even though they don't have any clue what slavery looked like. They weren't there, they don't know, they're just speculating. I look at our culture and I say we're getting the kind of law enforcement and policing that our culture is actually asking for.
Fair enough. I would still put a caveat for kids, right? And I'll give you an example of just you're talking about men, and even I'm 31, so I'm a part of this generation that has been emasculated to some degree. I think I had unbelievable parents that countered much of that, and the beginning of my generation, particularly in football, when my football coaches and such, those guys all reinforce masculinity to a high degree. But I'm just telling you, when I was in school, I remember sitting in history class thinking to myself, okay, there's a live shooter. What do I do? How do I get these girls into the corner out of the way? Okay, there's some scissors up on the desk. I can break that in two. I can give it to my buddy. We both got a weapon. And there's a little piece of glass that you can see through in the door. I can break that, take my shirt off, and I can give that to 5 other guys. And now we've got 7 knives, and we can all stand at the door. So if there's a shooter, we get all the girls in the corner, and we'll handle this. That's the kind of stuff I thought about when I was in 10th grade, right? How would we handle this sort of thing? And that, right, obviously never happened. Could I actually execute that when the time came? Great questions. But that's the sort of stuff that you should be dreaming about as a man, right? You have all these desires and ideas, and then that's who you should be, the person who stands up and does something when other people will not do. And we had a group of men who they were having those same dreams. These police officers, maybe they're 20-somethings. I bet a lot of those guys are 40. They're the generation before mine, where they should have had those same dreams. What do I do? How can I step in and save these kids? What's the way to do it? And if there's ever a time where you get to defy authority, it's to save 4th graders, right? Who are bleeding out inside when your head guy says, step back, he's barricaded. Yeah, he's barricaded inside a room with 21 dead people and 17 more injured that you won't let us go save. So that is, I will not demonize all of the police, but I have no sympathy for these guys. Every last one of them should be fired.
Well, see, the whole firing thing, they're just, in this current culture we have, they'll just be replaced by bigger cowards. Real men are being run out of leadership positions all across America. And I'm not exaggerating. That whoever that health minister that Biden named that thinks he's a woman, that's the vision of leadership right now. Everything's about diversity, inclusion, and equity. It's not about who's a real leader, who's an effective leader. It's not about your qualifications. And so clearly, when you talk about firing everybody, courage is contagious, cowardice is contagious. And we have a contagion, a pandemic that's exploded out of this college campus labs that say, hey, if men were just more feminine, the world would be a better place, and masculinity is toxic, and if we can just get rid of masculinity, oh my God, wait till you see this world that all this feminine energy builds. And that's why, as upset as I think people justifiably are at the police, I'm more upset about the culture, because if we don't change the culture, we're going to see more of these situations and create more men who do the wrong thing in times of desperation and need.
completely agree with everything you said. The only thing is that they should still be fired because when the moment came, they didn't come through. We used to say this in football all the time. Like, when those lights come on, we'll find out who the real players are. A lot of dudes think they can practice. A lot of guys have good, nice high school highlight tapes because they can run faster than everybody. Those lights come on, we're going to find out who's a player and who's not. The lights came on for these police officers. There were no players on the field. And so I don't know if the next batch of guys are cowards too, but I know this group is full of cowards. So they need to go, and we'll replace them with somebody new. And secondarily, we now go to what you're talking about. The culture has absolutely cultivated a society of emasculated cowards.